Good day and welcome back to Elementary 72 Gaming. So for today I'm actually going to go over something very important, and that is stacking up your champions. So remember, you have three types of champions overall. You have defense, you have support, and you have attack. I haven't seen any other categories listed. As you can see, I'm just going through a whole range of my I've never seen, I didn't realize that you get this. Okay, so you get HP. I think that's HP suppression hero. I'm not 100% sure. I have no idea what this means. Okay, so I didn't know about that. I just knew that you get support in attack. So you do get HP heroes. They're going to change a little bit of what I'm about to say. But other than that, they aren't going to make the biggest difference in the world. They'll just make a small difference to what I'm about to say. Okay, so starting off with how you allocate your gear. Your weapons are always going to be an attack item. They're going to have attack as the basic stat. Now, there are two basic ways to see this here. One, you could go with an attack percentage if it is even possible. I don't believe you can get attack percentage on your weapons. I don't believe you can get HP percentage, and I don't believe you can get defense percentage with the other two, because the other two are helmets, which are HP as you can see, and shields, which are defense. In order to just double check it, I'll just put on filter. Let's double check this. Filter takes off anything that shouldn't be here, and as you can see, it says that only attack exists for weapons, and if I do helmets, only HP, shields, only defense. But these are the only three with that particular set. So when you're starting off the game, try and get an attack set of 3-star weapon, 3-star helmet, 3-star shield. Okay, and this is where things are going to all of a sudden get really, really difficult. Your start of the game is one thing. Your end game is another story altogether. So please bear in mind that everything that I'm about to say will take you up to about level 12 on the gear. When you go beyond level 12, things change for a much more drastic issue when it comes to leveling them up, and that becomes what substats they have. Because you're going to get 3 substats, they're all just bonuses for you in the start of the game. Once you pass normal and you enter into hard mode, then your substats actually start playing major roles in your battles. 2% additional defense on 1400 like this champion becomes a massive issue because it's 20 extra defense. 20 extra defense reduces damage by that 20 extra defense. And considering that this champion has over 34,000 HP, that makes a big difference. 34,000 with even a 0.2 reduction on damage makes too much of a difference, because that can be the difference between you knocking the champion down in 2 hits or the champion staying up for a full set of 5 rounds, and that's just the way that this is, and I'll get back to it at a later point. Okay, so now we get on to your gauntlets. I'm actually just going to give a quick click to all of these to double check everything. Okay. Alright, so first thing to note about this here, you see these two stats over here, crit rate and crit damage. They're only going to assist with heavy assault. If you have a champion who outputs massive damage and you want them to be very heavy on the assault side, you're going to increase the crit rate and crit damage. That's how you're going to do it in general. But I'm actually going to avoid going for crit rate and crit damage for primary stat for most of my champions if possible. However, it is something that you can go for when you have attack-based champions, or if you need just a little bit of a push towards crit rate or crit damage to push your champion just that one step further. Example, if you're facing off against enemies and you need that 2% extra damage in a turn to make sure that you don't lose a champion so that you can get a heal in the next round, these are good ideas to go for. Okay. Now, in terms of stats, the stats you don't want to get is pure HP, it's a waste of time. You don't want pure attack, it's a waste of time. And you don't want pure defense, it's a waste of time. And I can explain to you why. This is, oh wait, this is on a 6-star. Give me a second. This is a 6-star weapon, and as you can see, it gives me 265 attack. If I had two 265 attacks and I added them together, they're going to improve my attack overall, but not as much as a percentage add was going to actually influence everything. You have to think about it based on the champion you're using. So an attack champion is going to have crazy figures. Let's go to an attack champion with crazy figures. Yes. 900, 700. Okay, so that's 1,200. This one is weaker. Okay, I know that somewhere where I must have a champion with even more attack, but this is just because it's 6-star and it's weighing 1,200 as base. If you have 1,200 plus 265, that's 1,465. Add a percentage assault to it, 60%. That's going to be your percentage increases with any of these, and you're going to have to work out which one is better. 265 versus 60% of 1,200. 1,200 at 50% it outdoes the 265. 50% of 1,000 is 500, so this champion is stronger. If this champion at 450, 50% would be at 900, the attack 50% would be 450, so it's still better than 265. If we went even lower and we brought that figure down even smaller to 500, then the pure attack becomes better than adding the percentage, because adding 50% of 300 is not going to really improve it by that much. 50% of 300 is 150. 150 versus 265, I'll go with 265. So you have to see your stats and know what you're going to improve by. Now, this is just a basic stat issue that I'm talking about, so you have to think about this here carefully. This here will apply to all your champions, including the HP champion, depending on how you're going to set up the gear. So let's go back to the filter and I'll talk about it from here. So, since this is the only piece of gear that can increase crit and crit rate, you need to know how big the crit attack is of your main assault. So let's say, for example, you have a high enough crit rate, like this champion is over 50%. It may only be 52%, but 52% crit rate means that half of the attacks are basically landing as crit, and because of the 2%, it's just a little over half. So crit rate is going to be a big bonus for this champion. So improve your crit damage. You can see that this here goes up by 57%. And with a higher attack percentage added into a higher crit rate, I'm making better overall DPS in the end. So that is something you need to think about as a player as well. So that's the first thing that you're going to do. You're going to improve the right assault categories. You can improve direct assault by 60%, and you can see what that's going to do for you. Example, this here puts out a solid 5k hit per hit with the crit damage. It can go higher. I believe I've seen 6,000 as the crit, so that was probably crit damage being influenced with the damage figure. That's 3,100 being doubled plus adding 14%. That's what I'm getting, 114% crit damage. So that's exactly what I wanted to have for his overall effect. And it's over 50% hit rate, so it's a very good add-on effect. Plus the fact that he has high accuracy means he's going to crit more often, and that's also going to help you with everything as you go up on these stats. Okay, the next thing for you to think about is whether you're going attack percentage, crit percentage, or crit damage. Any of the options that are below 1,000 are really not going to be what you're looking for, but we'll get to it at a later stage. So let's go on to the next piece of gear, and that's going to be the chest piece. Now, as you can see, the chest piece has resist and accuracy. Depending on the champion, again, this is going to be where things flow either to the side of more damage or more health. Now, on the primaries, you can always get defense percentages, and this is something I'm just going to say for defense champions. If you have a heavy defense champion and their attack is really weak, but they have massive HP and massive defense, let's say that, for example, I had 20,000 HP with 1,500 defense and a 700 attack. 700 attack is still better with percentage. I know that it is better with the percentage added to it than with direct stats added to it, but I'm going to end it off there at 700. That's it, that's what you had for the champion. Improving the defense will mean the champion is more tanky, provided it is a defense tank like Death Knight or Frankenstein, if I'm correct, that's the name. Or one of the knights, they also provide a buff to the entire team, and they become this heavy defense at the center of your play. Using those types of skills, you're going to get a massive amount of damage coming out overall. It's going to help you with applying a lot of damage very easily. So that's how it's going to go, because you're taking less damage overall. Death Knight is only a one-hit holder, so your champions are going to need a bit of defense, a bit of resist. So you're going to have to make a sacrifice if you're going with Death Knight, since he's being given away right now. He's part of a good meta. If you're going with a champion who is totally absorbing your damage all through with the damage reduction, you just want as high the possible defense on him as possible. His attacks won't be so important. His gear setup will be different. You'll probably go resist and curing or resist and healing. That's how you go for the champion instead of an attack and lifesteal, or a speed and resist. That is the way that you go for those champions. That's how you're going to increase it. So that is the first thing that I have to say on this option. So if you have an attack champion and on this stat you wanted to change him, remember this is the last time you can take an assault based primary, so you go for accuracy or attack percentage. Remember, these are the attack based improvements right here, and you will not get it on boots, as you can see. But let's get to this point for the whole situation as well. Once you go over, you'll see that resist is also not included here. Your gauntlets and your chest piece give you a chance to take resist, but this gives you a chance to take speed. Speed improves the amount of resistance you're going to have overall. Crit damage is going to land a lot less on you. You're going to be able to take very small hits most of the time. I've seen it before in one of the battles a long time ago when I was in the very high league. Somebody maxed out the speed on a champion. The champion was so fast that no matter how much I assaulted, I couldn't hit the champion. And as you can see, speed comes as a solid amount of air in. And let's just see what... And I've got a low level. I don't have a 6-star, unfortunately. But nonetheless, speed is here. I've seen people play this build where they use a full speed build on the champion, and the champion takes his minimum amount on every single hit. You can't crit, you can't get heavy hits. Everything is weak, and they just dodge non-stop. So that means they went and they made sure that they got speed allocation on that champion from the boots, and they must probably put on a full speed set. 45% speed plus 20 speed, that's a big improvement because you're gonna get another 9. So 9 plus that's 29, and say for example we have 100, that's 132. 132 speed is enough for you to reduce the amount of damage coming into you, as far as I know. Actually, it could be even better. You most probably could take way more than just 20 points. You might get higher point allocations, I'm not sure. Let me just do that again. You go and you look in the set, it'll tell you what you can get, 35. Okay, so that's at 4-star. So going up, let's say 50 is what you can get. If you pair it onto your champion correctly, 50 extra speed is quite a big improvement, and you can put in speed from your substats, and that's where it goes to later. Okay. So up to 3-star, primary stats are king. And this is where things take this odd turn and where things are going to start getting really weird. Once you've passed the easy and you get 4-star gear, substats become absolutely important. and you're going to equip these stats the moment they outweigh your current stats, because that's going to get you to hard very quickly, get you into brutal. If you get enough 5-star gear, you're going to get into nightmare. In nightmare, you're going to go all the way to attack. You're going to replace your attack gear, or you're going to use HP gear, whichever way it is for you. But that's how it goes. Oh yes, and I still haven't finished with explaining what stats you're going to actually want here. Now, this champion isn't set up perfectly. It's whatever I could get on a heavy farming schedule. So attack percentage is actually in the right place. It's what I would have wanted. This crit damage and crit rate is perfect, plus the attack. I couldn't ask for a better piece of gear. This is the only thing I don't really need on him, but I welcome the bonus. It's a good stat. If I could choose anything, I would have chosen for more defense on him. It would make him a bit tougher to hit, and that would have been a better substat than HP. Although I cannot disagree with HP being a good substat on this champion overall. So yeah, that's just how it's going to go. In terms of this chest piece, I don't want a resistance chest piece. For this champion in particular, because of the fact that he's going to take some damage, I would have preferred the defense percentage. As you can see, this is a pure defense. I would have preferred it to be defense percentage as well. So defense percentage, that would really improve it big time. If I could choose another stat for the chest piece, it would be crit rate. If I can improve this crit rate to 75%, a 75% crit rate means that most of my attacks are just going to blow up in size. It's going to be good for taking out Demon Lord, good for fighting bosses, and good for overall battles. That means his attacks are going to crit more often. Hardly any enemies are going to get away with weak, and it's also going to make it very hard for the bosses. And only reducing my accuracy would do anything for him. Accuracy would also be of some use, because that means you're going to hit more in the critical range. It is also something that could be of usage for you, but that's just how I'm going to go. This is just for an attack-based champion. It works almost the same for all of them. Some of them it will work differently based on what stats they have for powers. And last but not least, I said this one here would be defense. I wouldn't really change it to anything else. Speed wouldn't help this champion enough, so I wouldn't really go with speed. A defense percentage would definitely be what I wanted, and that would change this entire dynamic around instantly. Now, once you have completed your first set of upgrades and you've got your champion all to 4-star, that's when you're entering into brutal, because 4-star into 5-star is brutal. By the time you pass stage 4, you should have 4 level 5 champions, and that's going to help you progress to level 6, level 7, level 8. That's the way that it goes generally with the game. And that's when you're going to start worrying about jewelry, and I'm just going to go with the filter. Now, jewelry is a massive pain, right? As you can see, the stats which you can get are defense, and attack, or HP. Let's see, that's what I have in HP, that's what I have in attack, that's what I have in defense. So you can see that they only focus on those 3 stats, just like this at the top. So you're going to choose from these 3. I would strongly suggest that you base it on your champion's weaknesses. Sometimes you have a fantastic attack champion, can do 100,000 damage per hit, but he can't take a single hit, so I go with defense to bolster it up. Maybe you don't have enough HP, but you have massive defense. Go with a little bit more HP, that will help you out. That's a good way to formulate out your champions, and that's just my first piece of advice. Next is going to be your necklace. This is going to fall in that same category. I use this here to buff out where my weaknesses are. After you put on your ring, if your ring is boosting up your champion enough and you've got good enough assault and the assault isn't falling behind, then I would choose for this one here for an attack champion, crit damage. If I didn't have to choose crit damage, I would choose attack for an attack champion. I would choose defense for a defense champion and HP for support or HP champions. That's the way that I would go, and that's just me being critically honest since percentages aren't available here. And last but not least, we have Banner. Now, banner is also just going to be as important as the previous step, so bear with what I'm about to say on banners. I would go for an accuracy banner for my assault champion. This is going to help me with getting more accuracy in my assault. It's going to help with upping that stats just a little bit. And this is where you start breaching off towards the 6-star situation. 6-star is a pain in the butt, to be honest, and it's just going to become a nightmare as you progress to 6-star with what I'm about to tell you. Okay, so once you've passed this level with banners and you back onto your regular gear, here comes a nightmare. Sub-step building. This one here, as you can see, it's an attack weapon. I've got accuracy, I've got attack. Speed is unwelcomed in this one here, it shouldn't be here. If I wanted anything, I wanted crit damage, crit rate, and accuracy. That helps me a massive amount with my assault champion. Those are the sub-steps you generally want. You can use them to also fill holes, just like how you do with the jewelry. But jewelry plus these is going to make a big difference to you. This is HP. I didn't generally want attack on this one here. I wanted resistance, I wanted defense, I wanted speed. You can see that I have speed, I have resistance, and I have 2 attack charms on this here. Defense, I want resistance, I want HP, I want speed. I've got resistance, I've got accuracy here, I've got crit rate, and I've got defense. This is where the give and take comes. Setting up the best sub-steps with the best stats is going to be really difficult for you. You're going to have to list everything out and make sure that they are paired correctly. If you have a defensive champion, make sure that you have enough defense every time. If you have an offense champion, make sure you have enough attack, enough crit, enough accuracy for them to put on the damage. If you can't damage an opponent, you can't win the battle. That's the way that it goes. And if the champion can't stay in the battle long enough, put enough damage on, it's also worthless, so you have to think about it in those balances. Okay, so that's everything that you need to know as a starter for getting your gear ready. In terms of actual gear choices, the gear that I'm wearing is a good set for an offense champion. The reason is I'm increasing my attack by 15% and I am increasing my healing ability by 30% through leech, which is being affected by my attack. So in actuality, my leech is stronger because of my other subset, because of my other power set or gear set. And that is actually helping me in the long run. If you pair them up incorrectly, they don't give you extra stats. For example, if you put resistance plus lifesteal, resistance means you take less damage, and lifesteal means you're going to steal some health. Resistance plus extra health, it works out a little bit, but it's not enough to offset it. You're not actually boosting up your stats by that much. Defense plus lifesteal, you are protecting that HP more. You're actually directly influencing the HP. It makes a big difference to your overall performance. Let's see another one. Can't think of another one right now. I know there's Cool, which is a 10% attack plus ignore defense. Ignoring defense is as good as cutting another 10% into an attack. So you're actually improving by more than 45% for 45% worth of stats. That is something for you to know because it improves your stats by knowing how you're pairing them. Like the shields, 3-turn shield from Divine Offense. Divine Offense put on for my weapon and my shield, it's going to give me a big boost because it's a 3-turn shield. It's going to help me in the start. It's going to make sure that opponents can't zap into my health if they're ignoring my defense, if they're ignoring my resist. That's the way that it goes. A fantastic start to a good fight. That's the way that it goes for them. And that is its own video all on its own. I will get to it at another time. I hope that you all did enjoy this video, so catch you all in the next one.